straight, don't cross thread. Just like that. This is a tapered fitting also, so as it goes in, it's going to get tighter. So I'm hoping, yeah, that's pretty good right there. I think that'll. Hello and welcome to, well, Carlin's Worlds. Yeah, that should work. I'm a wanderer, a tinkerer, sometimes a nomad, a military veteran. I do things differently. There will be tinkering. I have a motorcycle, a truck, and a school bus. I live off-grid, so there will be some solar, batteries, inverters, and maybe even some wind. It blows. And that's all I can fit into about 30 seconds. Oh, and please, if you like any of this, it would be really awesome if you could subscribe and click that notify bell. Drop a comment if you have any questions or ideas. Share, like, comment, subscribe, notify. Oh, and Patreon if you're really an awesome kind of person. Cool. On with the show already. Okay, there's probably a reason people don't do this. There's a couple of spots that I'm doing some plumbing that's not pressurized, it's just gravity pressure. Alright. And the cost of fittings on some of these things is more than the pipe by a considerable amount. Like you can buy 10 feet of 2-inch pipe for $8, and a couple of fittings will cost you $2 or $3 a piece. Because this is labeled as a 3/4 inch, that's wrong. So the drill bit that goes with the tap, I bought this at Home Depot as a set. They actually ordered it in for me because they didn't have it in my local store. So you get this kit. It's got the drill bit and the matching tap for threading into a hole. Okay. So what I'm going to do, and there's a good chance this won't work. So right here, 2-inch pipe, and I glued on a cap. All right. My original plan was to do that first and then cut the cap off and put a proper fitting on there. And then I decided, you know what, that's expensive, I didn't want to do that. So my plan for today, I'm going to drill a hole in the center of that cap and then thread the hole and thread in that garden hose faucet is basically what it is. There's probably a name for that. And just see if it'll, see if I can cut a decent thread in there and get that to work. If not, I can cut the cap off and then re-glue another cap on there. The other reason I'm doing that today, what I had noticed the last few times when I was putting water, unloading water from the truck into my storage tank, is the water wouldn't flow until I could bleed the air out of the hose. Once I got the air out, then the water would flow. Doesn't really make a lot of sense, but whatever. So what I kind of was looking at is, since this is about where I'd want to bleed the air out anyway, I could hook up the hose, open up the valves, open up the faucet here that would let the air out, and then it would start going. I could just close the faucet again once it started running. Once it runs pretty well. From there, gravity feeds over to my storage tank. Secondary reason for putting this here, and well, actually, the reason I put that T fitting there in the first place in the cap was so that I could fill up my water jugs out here. So while I am, man, look at all the spider webs in there. While I've got that set up, I'll go ahead and fill up my water jug, and it'll be, that'll be drinkable water then. And so we've kind of, we've got the best of both worlds. And then now I can fill up my water jugs as I'm unloading the main tank and go from there. So that's kind of what we're doing. Overly explained again. Let's see. This thing is kind of in the way, so I'm going to move it. It's not anchored down right now, so I'm just going to kick it out of the way and make life a little bit easier on us here. Yeah, that'll work. Good enough. Stepper bit, this should drill pretty easy. I'm going to try and hopefully not to split this out. Drill's pretty nice. If I was only doing this one time, this probably isn't worth the trouble, but my thought is a lot of my plumbing fittings end up being 1/2 inch, so if I can get this to work, this might be something that can save me some money later. What I'm trying not to do is dig in so fast. That's when it breaks. Alright, new plan. We'll do it with a series of smaller bits first. Now I'm torn because my next choice is a stepper bit. I don't have any way to accurately size that, so. This bit's 23/30 seconds. That's what's made for the tap. It's the right size, so. That's not ideal. I can't keep it from grabbing too much. Running it backwards to knock the burr off. Not ideal. I think that'll still work. Yep, ideally you'd get the nice handle for this. I would love to have that, I do not. So what you're trying to do is get it to go nice and straight. Where's he at? That was a B-1 bomber. Pretty much dead overhead. And the funny bit was, right over there is a helicopter, so I'm assuming they knew about each other. Alright, there we go. Haven't seen those guys for a while, I was starting to wonder. Alright, gently, so nice and straight. We'll turn it a little bit, and this is a pipe threader, so it's got a taper to it. Right. Which means that the end of it will be smaller than as we go further in, it'll get bigger. We're cutting plastic, so that'll fit nice and easy, which it is. I don't have to worry about breaking the tap. Threading into steel, back it off a little bit and thread a little bit more. Now what I'm hoping is not to make it too loose. I'll probably go about halfway. Let's see if that works. Oh, that's nice. I might get away with this. That calls for a close-up. That looks like threads, right? Not sure if I can see that. Cool. All right, so what we'll do, if I get this to work, I'm going to do it once and leave it. So, thread tape, we'll tape it up good. I'm going to do a quick test fit just to make sure it goes in there. The other thing of note, oh yeah, that's nice. I got a bunch of shavings inside there and I don't have an easy way to get them out. This comes off. That's pretty tight. Not the end of the world if I get some shavings in there, I guess. I mean, if your house is plumbed recently, you're probably getting shavings in your stuff every now and then. Basically, I already had the cap glued on there, and you can't unglue a cap, right? So since it's on there, it's already paid for, basically. If I was going to pull it off and put a proper fitting on here, that would involve cutting this off, that's why I left that so long. And then gluing a new fitting on, and then an adapter, you know, because getting from 2" down to 1/2 inch, you probably end up with 2 adapters, 3, so you know, $3 or $4 a piece. Now, with that said, yeah, what I paid for that drill and tap was more than a couple fittings. But I'm thinking going forward, I might be able to break even. Alright, so I always got to think about this in my head, because when you put your thread tape on, you kind of put it backwards such that when you start threading it in, it doesn't roll up on you. So, give this a couple wraps. Now, this is not a pressurized fitting. I said that once, I think. So the only time this is going to be used is when I got water in the tank on the truck flowing into here. Right. Nice and straight, don't cross thread. Just like that. This is a tapered fitting also, so as it goes in, it's going to get tighter. So I'm hoping, yeah, that's pretty good right there. I think that'll be good. It's never going to have pressure on it. It's just going to have water flowing past it, basically. Anyway, this will be used. Oh, nice. Yeah, that'll be good. I couldn't remember if I got that high enough or not. Sweet. Now, because that's a piece of plastic sticking up out of the ground, I need to support it so it doesn't get all heavy load on it. Filled my hose full of water. Here. Now, leaking so much, so I started to do this, and I decided I had to do that first. These hoses come pre-installed with a 2" fitting on them, and so you just buy whatever you need to match. I guess the good part is that's flushing a lot of that plastic out. Do the same on the other end. This should work to fill up my containers. Yeah, here they are. Once this gets going, it'll speed up. This was my experience from last time. My IBC is about half full right now. Getting the pipe going straight makes a difference. This part, not so exciting. What I'm gonna do today, after I get as much in the IBC as I can, I'm going to set up the sump pump and use that to pump water into my other rain barrels, because I'm not expecting much rain anymore this year. So whatever extra water I have, I'll just put into the trash cans. 150 gallons to go. So yeah, we've already transferred about 50 gallons. Well, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, that should work. Cool. I do things differently. Oh, and please, if you like any of this, it would be really awesome if you could subscribe and click that notify bell. Drop a comment if you have any questions or ideas. Share, like, comment, subscribe, notify. Oh, and Patreon if you're really an awesome kind of person. Thank you so much for watching.